Welcome back to The Full View. Claims of illegal employment and economic sabotage have plagued the trucking industry of late. Last week, major routes were closed and the N3 that links the Durban port to other provinces and countries was blocked for more than 24 hours. Well, yesterday, the Inter-Ministerial Committee on the Trucking and Logistics Industry released an 11-point action plan in the hopes of eradicating truck blockades. One of the ministers involved, Labour Minister Thulas Nxesi, put pay to the idea that there is a shortage of skilled truck drivers in the country. To discuss further, we're joined by the Chief Director of Labour Relations at the Labour Department, that's Thembinkosi Mkalipi. Mr. Mkalipi, thank you for being with us. Has a lack of skilled workers been used by truck operators to justify employing foreigners? Just give us the context, the incipients of this study you did, these inspections that you did to find out exactly what's going on.
Well, as I'm sure your viewers would know, we've been having this discussion for a long time with the owners of trucks in the country. I must say up front that not all owners of trucks are employing foreign nationals. There's a grouping that employ foreign nationals. And in terms of our own data, we've got around about 21,000 unemployed truck drivers in our database system. As you know, that employees who are unemployed come to the unemployment insurance fund to apply for funding and for their unemployment insurance. And as part of that process, they register on the unemployment register. Therefore, we've got a database of all those that have applied. And as I've said, we've got around about 21,000 truck drivers who are unemployed in this country. Therefore, there's a big number of truck drivers available. It's got nothing to do with the skills and the availability. It's got something to do with the ability to exploit those foreign workers who come in and pay them lesser than what they should be paid in terms of the bargaining council agreement.
But let's make a distinction. You're not allowed to employ illegal foreigners, but according to our current laws, correct me if I'm wrong, the trucking companies can employ whoever they want as long as they have legal residence in this country, and they shouldn't have to justify that. We still give foreigners the right to work in our country.
Yes, you're correct. I mean, if you are here as a refugee, for example, you've got a refugee status, you've got to earn a living. If you've got skills then to work in the truck industry, you can work in that industry. If you've got a residence, as you say, in this country, or you've got a working visa, if you are here legally, you are allowed to work whether you are foreign or not, as it is now. And that is why we're busy with the policy, migration policy that will deal with some of these issues to see whether should we set aside certain occupation for only South Africans. That's out. It was out for public comments. It's going to be discussed at NETLEC very soon, and depending what is agreed at NETLEC, it will go then to Parliament. But as it is now, in terms of the law as we speak, if you are here legally, you've got all the documentation that are necessary for you to be in this country, then you are allowed to work.
All right, and even the focus, I mean, even government talking about the number of foreign nationals, not only focusing on illegal foreigners, it's all heading, it seems to me, to those quotas in some sectors. And government has this huge focus on foreigners in general, but what about the people who've been blockading the roads and torching the trucks? We talk about Thulas Nxesi, the minister was talking about the people arrested for being illegals. How many arrests have there been from people who've been accused of economic sabotage? Their actions have huge implications for our economy.
Well, you're correct that people who are blocking the roads are committing economic sabotage, but I'm not in a position, as you know, that I work for the Department of Labour. The police and the departments, the different provinces would know the number of people that have been arrested, which province, where, and who are they. I'm not in a position to have that information.
Is the Labour Department speaking to the ATDF? Apparently the Transport Department is. This is the group accused of organising the torching of trucks. Should government even be speaking to them, negotiating with them, taking action based on this group?
Well, I mean, if we have taken that attitude 20 years ago, we wouldn't be where we are with South Africa today. We negotiated with the National Party and taking into consideration all the bad things that they've done. Therefore, we've got to talk with anybody. We are talking with them. They were part of the negotiation at the Department of Transport on Monday. Therefore, we are open to talk with anybody. But in those talks, there is nowhere where we say people and organizations should be able to go out and do things that are illegal.
Yeah.
It is stressed in those discussions that all of the parties that are in there should respect the law and respect the rights of other citizens of this country.
And is government committed to protecting workers in the trucking industry who say that they fear that they may get killed, that their vehicle may be torched, whether they are foreigners or not? Are we committed to protecting them?
Our law commit this government and the police of this country to protect every citizen. The constitution of this country commits to protect everybody who lives in this country, that they won't be treated unfairly, they won't be victimized, they won't be sabotage, and all of those issues. Therefore, the law and the constitution protects the citizen and the residents, the people who are in this country, whether they are foreigners or not, they are protected by the law.
The Road Freight Association was also part of this, and there's these points that the Inter-Ministerial Committee is committed to. They had misgivings regarding the introduction of operating licenses. One of the points, I think Gavin Kelly, the head of that Road Freight Association, said it could be an attempt to try and capture the industry, talking about, well, making links to what's happening in the taxi industry where routes are divvied up. And he said that would be huge for our economy. Your response to that?
Again, I mean, there are three departments that are involved in this. The Department of Transport deals with the issues of licensing and all the issues about truck driving. Therefore, if I'm not in a position to comment on what is allowed and not allowed, those discussions, the Road Freight Association will have those discussions with the department concerned. As the Department of Labour will deal with employment and legislation, and those are the issues that we come into the party with that we will do and put in place. The Department of Transport will have discussion and consultation with all the parties affected and come up with the best approach on these issues that meet the requirement of the law and that is negotiated and discussed with all the parties.
Finally, I think the one thing you can really clarify for us is how big is the problem of illegal foreigners in trucking, because this is painted as a huge issue. You spoke about the numbers. What percentage of the truck drivers are foreigners? What percentage are illegal foreigners, please?
Well, in terms of the statistics that we're receiving from, remember there's a bargaining council in this sector that regulate working conditions in this sector. In terms of the statistics that we're receiving from them, we're talking around about 10 to 20% of workers employed who are foreigners. Of those, there could be another maybe 30% who are illegal foreign, who do not have the necessary papers, who are working in the industry. In terms of the parties involved, both workers and employers, the view is that we don't have a lot of workers working in this industry illegally, as they indicate. Therefore, we'll see, because we've asked ATTF to give us the list of those companies that employ illegal foreign workers so that we can go out and do inspection and check whether that is true that they employ those illegal foreign workers and deal with them in terms of the law.
All right, but thank you for clarifying that it's actually a small percentage, because this is the issue leading to blockages on major roads for more than 24 hours. That was the Chief Director at the Labour Relations at the Labour Department, Thembinkosi Mkalipi.